So real quick, before you did that, and your origin story, like how did you get into?
Is that he made an age joke the last time we were. I'm gonna use that Kuka.
So real quick, before you did that, and your origin story, like how did you get into?
Is that he made an age joke the last time we were. I'm gonna use that Kuka.
Hey everyone, how's it going out there in YouTube world and Facebook as well? So I just want to welcome you guys to episode 12 of the Real Estate Talk with Randy Stedwell. My guest is actually running a little bit late, so what we're going to do is I will introduce him a little bit. But if you have any questions in the meantime, put it in the chat. We'll be happy to go over whatever you guys want to talk about today, as well as throughout our time. If you have questions, put it in the chat as well. So one thing I did want to say is that, I also do help new wholesalers out there. So if you are a new wholesaler and do need help trying to lock up deals or just need advice or anything like that, by all means, hit me up. My number's right here at the bottom, right there, and you can hit me up. We can get on a video chat, something like that. As long as we can record it, it's free of charge. So as well as if you want to JV with me or anything like that, I'm happy to work with you. And I'll give you my opinion. Now, my opinion is not God by any means. All I do is listen to what my buyers say in this area. Have people bought higher? Have people bought higher than what I think? Yes. But I go by seasoned investors who I sell to, and I listen to them as much as possible. So if you want advice or anything like that, by all means, let me know. I also do have a network of other wholesalers. So if you are looking for certain properties, give me your criteria and maybe I can find it. If I don't have it, I can at least network with other wholesalers and maybe they find it. We can JV. So I'm happy to work with anybody who wants to work with me. And I kind of go from there. Now, am I coming off as a guru who knows everything on here? No, I am not. I am coming off as this is my story. This is what I'm doing. I'm just interviewing people. And guess what? I'm doing it at my own selfish reasons. I'm sharing it with you guys, but I'm meeting these people for networking purposes because I eventually want to do deals with them. So, Syed Mohsin, he is a real estate broker. He owns 2 teams of real estate agents, and they are world-class people. And by all means, I want to do more business with him. So it is actually kind of selfish of me to bring him on here. So I'm trying to tell my story, go through the product, go through the purpose. I'm in my 3rd year of wholesaling. Okay. I still do it part-time. I do have a full-time job. Um, you know, I'm not sitting here the one telling you to go quit your job to do wholesaling. It's not that I'm not telling you that because I'm not doing that. I actually like my day job, and I'm using wholesaling to end up being my, I want to get to the next step. So wholesaling is not an end all be all. And so I'm looking for the next strategy and the next and then the next so that I can eventually retire, when I do, and I'll still be financially free. So with all that being said, again, anybody who is just joining us, if you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from YouTube, put in the chat if you have any questions. My host is actually being a little bit late for right now, and I do apologize. But in the meantime, we can chat a little bit more from you guys. So please let me know what you guys want to hear. I actually want to know from you guys, what kind of videos do you like? If you're not watching this in the live, if you're only watching this on the replay, put a comment in there. What kind of videos do you like coming from me? If you want to learn more, if you want more videos, what type of videos do you want? I'll try to get more of those out there, time permitting. I still am running my wholesaling business as well as working a full-time job. So, with that being said, anybody listening, please let us know. I'm going to go through some of the calls that I've gotten recently on the list that I've done. Tire landlord lists. I've done some tax lien lists, things like that. I'm finding the tax lien list is a lot better. They're not highly good, not highly motivated, but they are at least a little bit motivated. The tire landlord list is not all that great, and they're just like, okay, if we get the high price, great. Otherwise, we're just going to keep cash flowing. So, in my opinion, in the market we're doing right now, if you're wholesaling or trying to do marketing, stay away from the tire landlord list. You can hit it every once in a while. But I think the next thing I'm also going to end up going after, and I've done it before, is maybe some water shutoff lists, some government lists, things like that. So tell me in the chats, what you guys think about those. What are you guys doing for your marketing? I'm personally cold calling. Well, I'm not personally. I have a VA who cold calls for me. And I eventually, once we get enough marketing dollars together, I eventually want to do some PPC, which stands for pay per click, SEO, things like that. Maybe some Facebook ads, things of that nature. So, what are you guys doing if you're a wholesaler, what are you guys doing for your clips? What are you guys doing for your marketing? Please let me know. I'm interested in seeing what you guys got to do. I went through my follow-ups today. On average, how many times are you contacting a person before you actually get an appointment? Your money is not going to be in the first initial call or the second or the third. It's going to be in those follow-ups. Somebody raises their hand, says, okay, I'm interested. You got to keep following up with that person. So even if they don't answer. So I've had it where I've contacted somebody. I contacted somebody 15 times before I even got an appointment. So it's crazy, but you just got to keep doing it. That's how you make the money. And qualify. If the ARV is only about 230,000 and they want 300,000, obviously that's not a good lead. All you do is follow up with them or follow up with them, ask them if they have any more properties that might be in a little bit more distress that they're interested. They say no, you move on. That's it. Okay. If you want to follow up with them later on, great, but they're not going to be that motivated. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. I really do. Hopefully what I am saying is helpful. These are from my own personal experiences. And all I'm doing is try to share my life with you guys. So, with that, anybody who is definitely interested in, anybody who is interested in coming on the show, you gotta be on time. Sorry, but this is the first time I've had somebody actually late to the show. So, so with, anybody who does want to come on the show, please do message me. I'm happy to have anybody who does want to come on the show to share their story. If you are just having your first deal, I'm interested in knowing how you got started, what you did, things like that. So please do reach out to me, whether you text message me, whether you send me a DM through Instagram, whether you send me a DM through Facebook, doesn't matter. Also, if you are on YouTube, check out our Facebook page, Metro Detroit Off Market Real Estate Group. Okay. We are there. We have almost 4,000 members right now. So I think it's getting huge. So my goal by the end of this year was going to be 5,000. I think we're going to hit about, maybe 6 or 7, hopefully. So I think we're going to obliterate that goal. With that being said, we want quality people in there who's going to post deals or at least ask for assistance. And that's the good thing about our group. There's so many experts in there. By all means, post what you're looking for. Okay. Post what you want. And, we can all help each other out. That's why I made the group, and that's what I want to succeed. I just do not post anything real estate unrelated. I am, please let us know if there is. You can go ahead and report it. I'm the only admin, so I'm the only one that will let you through, and I'm the only one that blocks or reports you. As well as if you post duplicate posts, I will delete one. So please don't post duplicate posts. Okay. With that being said, let's see. Here in Michigan, at least, we're starting to get nicer weather. In my opinion, nicer weather means more people is going to want to sell. So they're going outside, they're walking around. Maybe, they're working on their yard. You're like, maybe I want to move, or maybe I want to do something. I don't want to do the maintenance, the spring cleaning, or anything like that. So they might be more interested in selling. So, with that being said, I think we're only going to go for about another 15 more minutes. And if he doesn't show up, then unfortunately we're going to call it quits. And if I don't get any questions here, I'm trying to message him as well, and looks like he might be a little bit busy. So, anyways, so anybody has any questions, post them in the chat. Happy to work something out with you guys, and see what we can do from there. If you want a comping video, or if you want me to comp a property, hey, right now I don't got anything to do. So post the address in the chat, and I'll comp the property the way I normally would. So I'm happy to do so as much as possible. Hey, Holly Dentry, how you doing? So awesome, man. Awesome girl. I'm doing really good. I'm trying to be out here and doing what we can. So, again, if you do want me to comp a property, Detroit is very hard to comp. If you are not from the Detroit area and you are doing virtual wholesaling, okay, make sure you talk with somebody who is from Detroit, or you go back and watch one of my comping videos. Okay. I do have it. It's probably towards the beginning of the year. It was one of my lives that I did do it. By all means, Detroit is it's a block by block area, and you really, really have to understand the comping there. So now Metro Detroit, you can do a little bit more traditional, but still, when you're close to the borderline of Detroit, it's still a lot harder. So you got to keep that in mind. You know, I've also had somebody come to me about wanting to purchase a rental. I get buyers like that all the time. Maybe whether they're new buyers or anything like that. Maybe they want to do a bird deal or buy and hold, things like that. I will give them my opinion, but I will also preface that I do not hold properties at the moment. I only can give you the knowledge that I've gained through my wholesaling and that I gather from my other buyers. Okay. So I always keep that preface there, is that I'll try to do my best as much as possible, and I'll try to find you the best deals out there. If I can find them, great. And if they work with your numbers, great. But I'll try to teach you how to do the numbers, and I'll show you how to cover for all type of scenarios. You have to include the one thing that people do not include is property taxes being uncapped, and also the property taxes going from homestead to non-homestead, as well as being uncapped. So you got to account for that. You have to account for property management, capital expenditure, as well as the initial renovation. So Johnny Dapper, how you doing? Hi all. So happy to have you here. So I'm again, I'm happy to go over this with anybody. If we could do a one-on-one video, I'm offering them, as long as we can record it, it's for free. No problem. I'm not a YouTube guru by any means. I'm just trying to share my experiences in my life. That's all. I've worked with some great wholesalers in this area, and I still make mistakes by all means. I've made so many mistakes. And to be as transparent as possible. I thought that I was going to have, this is the month of May, and my goal was to have at least 2 deals per month. Okay. And I thought I was going to have, I thought I was going to have at least 10 deals by now. Okay. How's it going, Freddie? Freddie, how you doing? Nice to see you. That's Freddie off of Facebook there. I thought I was going to have 10 deals by now, and unfortunately I only have one that it was lingering for a long time. I really got to thank Todd Chun for getting to the closing table with me. It was a hard deal by any means. We had about 3-4 buyers back out, and we still kept going. So that's all about. The only way that type of deal works is if you have a good relationship with the buyer, or with the seller, and keep open communication. Okay. I try to be as transparent as possible. Okay. Now they don't need to know everything, but I be as transparent as possible, as much to let them know what the process and how it's going and things like that. So with that being said, it's just, how do you talk to sellers? How do you bring up that you're wholesaling? How do you let them know? In my opinion, you can use words like, hey, I'm working with my partners. One of the strategies that I use is I bring them, I may pass the deal along to another investor, but whatever me and you work out is exactly what you're going to get, and you're going to deal with me the whole time. Okay. So that's one way that I bring it up. Now, somebody who knows what wholesaling is, things like that, they're going to understand exactly what you're doing. And a lot of times they don't care as long as they get their dollar. Okay. Now, that's when you gotta beat them down. And when you gotta beat them down, that's when they're going to fight back. Okay. Um, keep in mind as well is when you get a deal under contract and then you start marketing it out, this is the reason why you have to keep open communication with your seller. If you don't keep open communication with your seller and let them know what's going on, what you're doing, things like that, and then you get, say, a buyer who just joined your buyers list, okay, and they end up calling the seller directly, not contacting you, either letting the seller know what's going on or offering them a higher bid that you got under contract, okay. And I've had this happen to me before, by the way. Okay. They try to snake the deal behind you. Well, you have it under contract. And most of the time you can put a memorandum on the property if you feel like that's going to happen. But a lot of times I've built up a relationship with the seller that literally the next call, as soon as they get off that call, they call me and say, hey, do you know this guy? He's trying to give me an offer. Okay. I say, you know what? No, I don't know him, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, he's probably not going to close. He's probably going to do this, this and that. I'm trying to, this is where I keep open communication. Yeah, I want to go with you. I want to make sure that we're doing deal. And that's the advantage versus you ghosting the seller after you get it signed. And a lot of people do this is after the contract is signed, they pretty much ghost the seller for, a couple of weeks until they have to do a scheduling to show the property. Okay. You want to keep the seller up to date on what's going on. Talk with the seller. Hey, just letting you know, let's work on trying to see when we can get in the property, or can we get a lockbox on the property or anything like that. I'll let you know what's going on. And Fugi, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Sorry if I didn't. Yes, that is shady by all means. And I really, really don't like it being, I don't like shady people. I try to, as soon as I find out that somebody does that and I find out who it is, they will never do business with me again, ever. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and go blackballing them, but I'm not going to personally ever do business. I don't care if you're the highest offer out there. I know you're not going to live up in, I don't know if you're going to close. Okay. Most of the time, a buyer is only as good as they're going to close. Okay. That's it. I don't want to sit here and yes, I can go after your EMD deposit, but it's getting harder and harder for us to even collect the EMD deposit because title companies are just horrendous. Okay. I'm telling you that. With that being said, we have some people here. Let me know what more videos you want, what type of videos you want to see. I'm happy to work something out, see if I can create more of that type of content and kind of go from there. It does not look like the Syed is coming today, unfortunately. So, but I'll give it another 5 more minutes. We'll hit that half-hour mark, roughly, and kind of leave it from there. So, all right. So what I was talking about, I'm talking about strategies. What kind of marketing strategies do you guys do? Anybody who's in the chat, tell me what marketing strategies you do. Okay. Holly's doing cold calling. Holly, do you like cold calling? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Did you just started it? Are you using a dialer? Anything like that. If you are cold calling, okay. Direct mail. That is coming from Anik is my man. He direct mail. He gets some good leads in direct mail. He's a buyer too. So if you're on Facebook and you see Anik in the chat, do business with him. He's a good guy. All right. Holly says driving for dollars. Those are the great lists. Driving for dollars lists are great. Okay. Because guess what? They may not come up on any other list whatsoever because they may pay their taxes on time. They may pay all their bills on time. Everything's good. But the yard looks long. Everything, it might be a tired landlord. Who knows? Okay. Oh, Holly says reverse driving for dollars too. I don't know what's a reverse driving for dollars. Never heard of that one. So, also, direct mail, linking up with buyers. How are you getting your buyers? Are you just posting on Facebook Marketplace? Things like that. Are you just posting in the Facebook groups? I'm encouraged for going to these Facebook groups, but I'm more of the go to REI meetups, listen to these buyers and see what they're buying at, and kind of go from there. So, okay. So Holly said the reverse driving for dollars is a targeted houses. I don't think that's a reverse driving for dollars, but I think that's like just a standard list that now you're just trying to verify whether the houses are distraught or not. So either way, if it works for you, it works for you. One thing that you gotta look at is what works for you, and then how can you scale it? Okay, that's a big thing. Is how can you scale it? All right. I already know that there's going to be a limit to what I'm doing, and then I eventually will look to scaling. Okay, it will be the next step. Holly says texting as well. Texting and cold calling, I think, go hand in hand. I haven't started texting myself, but it is something we want to get into. There's a lot of legality in it. There's a lot of different things out there a lot of different tools that are out there that help you, and things of that nature. So, great. I'm happy to see that, Holly, you're doing that. Let me know, what are your ROIs on those, things like that. Johnny, you said, what are some of the more common creative financing techniques? So I haven't done a creative financing deal yet. Okay. There's the key word, yet. They're out there. I do know of them. I try to pitch them as much as possible. Now, with that being said, probably one of the easiest to pitch here in Michigan is going to be a land contract. Okay. A land contract is probably the most common because most people are familiar with it. Okay. But you can do a sub 2. You can do just a straight up seller finance. Okay. Honestly, you can be as creative as you want. And as long as the title company and as long as you and the seller can agree on it, you can be as creative as you want. That's all. Okay. That's the key thing, is you and the seller agreeing to something. Okay. You always explain it to this, Mr. Seller, do you want to be the bank? The bank makes all the money. Okay. The bank makes all the money. Now, instead of you going and collecting rent and having to take care of the property, do you just want to become the bank and just be quiet? Most of the time they say yes, unless they have a specific reason for that money. Okay. But by all means, everyone's different. So, Holly says, I'm not using anything bought. My scale is small. And you know what? That's how you can start off. That's perfectly fine. I do recommend getting into a dialer, some sort of dialer, whether it be Mojo dialer, whether that be call tools, call rib, whatever it is. Okay. Look into them all, do your research. I personally use call tools myself. I like it. I have a VA, virtual assistant, who calls for me. But you can do it yourself as well. So, in my opinion, do your homework, see what's comfortable to you, use a good CRM. If you don't, a CRM is customer relationship management tool. Okay. And that could be anything from Podio. It could be from Call Tools, has a built-in one as well. Things like that. So, this goodbye 2020. All right. You should really change your name if you're looking to get into real estate to something with your name in it. All right. Hi, just getting into real estate. Also, do you have any contract resources for sale by owner, seller financing, or wholesaling for Michigan? I do have contracts for wholesaling. Okay. FSBOs, in my opinion, yes, they are a little bit motivated. It's going to take some time to walk them over, things like that. Seller financing, my contract, you can use it as far as a land contract. But again, I have not done a deal personally with seller financing. Okay. So I'm prefacing that. But there's a lot of people in the Facebook group and in the chats that link up with them by all means. If you need help, contact me and I will help guide you towards somebody who may help you. Okay. If I can't help you, that is. All right. So he also said he or she, don't know if it's he or she, or do I need to have a lawyer draw them up? It depends on what you're doing. I don't think you really need a lawyer to draw them up, but I think you need to understand what your contract says. Go over your contract with a fine-tooth comb, okay? And that way, the reason why I say that is because your seller is not, they may go over your contract with a fine-tooth comb, and they're going to bring up questions. You need to have the answers like that, okay? Oh, I don't know why that's in there. Oh, you know what? I'll take that out, or I'll do this. Now you're just screwing yourself. If you picked up a contract from, say, Jerry Norton or somebody else through these resources, read through that contract, understand that contract, and understand what every single paragraph means. Okay. That way, what happens is you can explain it to the seller. And hey, the easier and simpler terms you can say it to the seller, the better off you'll be. Promise you that. All right. All right. So he said duly noted. All right. Holly, appreciate it. Andy, appreciate it. No problem. I appreciate you guys coming on. I really do. So, so it looks like he's not going to be coming on. And I thank you for all the comments, by the way. So if you want to have any more comments, please put them in here. I'll stay for a couple more minutes. Now, with that being said, I want to go back to these contracts per se. Okay. Now, how I got my contracts was I JV'd with another wholesaler. Okay. And he let me use his contracts. That's how I got my contract. But I didn't just blindly use them. I read through it I with a fine-tooth comb. And then if I didn't know something, I asked why. I asked what it was. And then if I did not want that in my contract, guess what? I would either take it out or I would replace it with something or reword it with something that would favor either towards me or whatever the case may be. Okay. And with that, that's the same thing with a JV agreement. That's the same thing with a assignment agreement as well, assignment of contract. All right. And those are the things you need, as well as you need a release. All right. You need a release of contract. All right. Because there's going to be times where you need to release that contract because you can't sell it. All right. You're trying to sell it for 45. You got under contract for 35. And really and truly, the property is probably only worth about 30. Okay. So, and just the seller is not coming down. So you have to release that contract. All right. Now, do mistakes like that happen? Yes, they do. I've made them. That's how I know. All right. I've made them a lot. I'm still making them to this day because guess what? This market's constantly changing. All right. With these interest rates that are coming up that are right now it's a little bit more consistent, which is good. They're not always fluctuating up and down so much. At least right now in the past couple months, they've been consistent. Okay. They are, your buyers are going to act similar when they're consistent versus they're going to pull back a little bit. They're going to go towards the cheaper side. They're going to need to get a bigger discount because they're going to need to account for the possibly the increase that's going to come 3 months down the road when they go to sell it. Okay. Basically the increase in the interest rates, which will bring down the prices. Okay. Now, if you have a good product, it's going to sell, and you price it right, it's going to sell. But you have to buy it right. The flippers, no matter how much you want them, oh, they could go $1,000 more, $5,000 more, $10,000 more. Only if they could do that. They got to stick to their numbers. That's how they make money. Because you know what? In our market right now, some flippers are making $50,000, $60,000, maybe in the higher end properties, but you go to these lower end properties and they're only making $20,000 a property. Okay. I'm making half of my wholesale fee. I try to average around 10,000 per property. Okay. So I'm making half of what they're doing and they have to wait 3 months to get it. Okay. So you have to understand that, they got to stick to their numbers. That's why you got to get them right as well. So, so keep that in mind. If you do have any properties you want to sell, post them in the Facebook group. All right. Metro Detroit Off Market Real Estate Group. In the description below is the link to the Facebook group. If you are not a member in there, become a member. I will approve you. And you can post all your deals there, or you can look for your deals that you're wanting. If you're a flipper, if you're a buy and hold investor, also, if you're not on my buyers list, contact me. Get on my buyers list, things like that. The reason why I may not have done too many deals because people are locking them up way too high and they're just not selling. They're sitting and sitting. And I listen to my buyers. Okay. I listen to my buyers and I just have to be honest with people. Okay. So, hopefully I've gave you at least a little bit of value today. We can, with Syed, we're going to try for another time. We'll see what happens. This is the first time. Oh my God. This is the first time that I've ever had somebody be late. All right. So, actually not even show up. So with that being said, I really appreciate all of you that have come and have watched and have contributed to the chat. I really do appreciate you guys. If you are not watching this live, if you are watching the replay, by all means, can we still communicate through the chat and we can talk later. Hit me up with my number right below here. And I'm going to my email, if you want to JV with me as well. Okay. This is my email right down below. All right. There you go. Right there. Randy buys houses mi@gmail.com. All right. happy to work with anybody who can, and we can kind of go from there. If you are a buyer, hit me up. If you are looking for deals, hit me up. I want to know what your buying is, what your criteria is, what your limit is. Hell, if you just want to go to coffee and tell me all this information, I'm all for it. I don't drink coffee, but I'll find something to drink. I promise you that. So, I'm happy to work out. I've done this with a lot of different people. I talk with a lot of different people, and that's how I know the market. That's how I know the area. So at least every month, I'm probably going to 5 or 6 different meetups, trying to get out there, get to know buyers, things like that, and seeing what they're buying at. All right. So if you're one of those buyers who do not go to meetups, hit me up as well. I want to hear from you too. All right. Now, if you're a wholesaler pretending to be a buyer, just don't. Tell me you're a wholesaler. We'll JV. We'll work together. Hold on. Excuse me. We'll work together. I'll help you out along the way. If you need help locking up a deal, doing anything, I do not steal deals behind people's back. That's not who I am. A very ethical guy when it comes to business, because I want repeat business. That's how I make more money, is by repeat business. Okay. I'm in my 3rd year. I've done right around 30 deals since I started. So roughly. All right. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, right around. So I think I have some experience in every deal. I learned something. I've learned something new from every deal. And I've had a lot more deals that we haven't closed because I got them locked up too high. The seller couldn't come down, whatever the case may be. So I have a lot more of those stories as well. So with that being said, let's all do deals together. Hit me up, email me, call me, whichever you prefer. We'll see you in 2 weeks with another episode of Real Estate Talk with Randy Stedwell. Hopefully we bring Syed back. Maybe we'll repeat this episode, and this will be an anomaly. I don't know. We'll see. All right. You guys have a good one. Let's all do deals together. Stay connected. And that's it. Have a good one.